Hello, everyone. Today I have a question for you. And are you limiting your potential? This question actually came up earlier today while I was recording a podcast episode for my podcast, Changing the Story, Kick Ass Women in Business, if you haven't heard of it. But today's episode, I was doing something different. So usually I either do solo episodes where I talk about a topic or I interview somebody sort of and like as an expert, and I ask them questions and they tell me about their life and all that kind of stuff. But today what I did was I actually coached somebody live on air. So not live for the podcast, but I coached somebody recorded it, and I'm actually using that as a podcast episode. And so it was different. It was something different. It was cool and it was interesting, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. But why I'm explaining that story is what came up in that conversation really inspired today's video, which is around the idea of, are you actually limiting your potential? Often we tell ourselves to play it safe, to stay small, and we're doing it out of love. We're not trying to belittle ourselves or demean ourselves, although sometimes we say belittling and demeaning things to ourselves, but we're just trying to do it as a way to protect ourselves. So, and what I'm talking about with that is sometimes we say, don't dream too big, be realistic. There's no way that you could do that, or stay comfortable, stay safe, don't go after your hopes and dreams. And we tell ourselves all of these reasons as to why it's better to play it safe and why it's better to play it small. And again, we're doing that because we're trying to protect ourselves. And we're trying to protect ourselves because we're afraid of the disappointment and our inevitable failure. And I know this from experience because I have done this to myself and I still do it to myself. And one of the really important things to recognize is that every single day we have the choice to either like diminish and belittle and limit our potential, or we have the ability to nourish our potential and actually grow into the type of person that we want to be and to grow into the type of life that we want to have. Or again, we can make the choice to stay exactly where we are, doing the exact same thing just because it's safe and it's comfortable and we feel good in it. And I want to challenge you to push through that and stop limiting your potential. And the reason why I want you to do that is you have absolutely no idea what you are and are not capable of. But we often like to think that we are, and often we like to think that we know what we're not capable of. And so since we know we're not capable of something, we're just not going to do it. But realistically, again, you have no idea what you can or cannot do in this lifetime. And I really want to encourage you to take some risks and go out there and see what your potential is, because it is way more vast and grand than you are currently giving yourself credit for. And I want to talk about how, I'm going to give out 3 tips or 3 strategies to really figure out, are you limiting your potential, as well as some ways to how to actually like move past that so you stop limiting yourself and you start actually living out whatever it is your full potential is. And I want to start though just by saying, I just went away for a little bit. So we are what we think. And what we think becomes our reality. And what our reality is, because what we think ends up becoming our actions, and that becomes a reality. And it's just this continuing cycle. And what we want to recognize is that if we think differently, we can actually change our circumstances because we change our actions. We change how we perceive a situation, and then therefore we change how we react to it. We change how we interpret it. And again, it's this ever continuing cycle. And so the first thing with, are you limiting your potential, is I want you to ask yourself the question like, what if? Because often when we think, what if? When we think, what if I fail? What if I screw up? What if I'll give you a personal example. What if I go on live TV and I completely make a fool of myself, and every single person in the world is going to see that video and laugh at me and make fun of me and know how much I suck? What if, what if, what if? And again, we can get stuck in these feedback loops in our own internal dialogue of, again, what if I fail? What if I screw up? What if I can't do it? What if I don't have the resources? What if I don't have the time? What if I don't have the money? And all of our what ifs are negative. And that is our first clue that we're limiting our potential. If all of your what ifs are a spiral of negativity and a spiral of doom and gloom, then you are limiting your potential. And so what I want you to start asking yourself, instead of what if this goes wrong, what if this fails, but what if you, and this is what I said today on the podcast, what if you fucking hit that ball out of the park? What if you fucking kill it? Like, what if everything goes well? What if you're able to grow and succeed and build your business way beyond what your dreams and expectations were? Because the what if positive is just as likely as the what if negative. And ultimately, whatever you choose to be a reality is what's going to happen. And I don't mean whatever you choose to be a reality is going to happen and then just like the heavens are going to open up and everything in your life will be great, because that's not how it works. It is how it works, but you have to work there. But what I mean by that is if you choose the positive what if I can do this? What if I am capable? What if I'm able to build a business beyond my wildest dreams? You're going to start making choices and decisions that further that goal, that further that reality. You're going to start doing things that bring you closer to your goal. But if your what ifs are always negative, then your choices and your decisions are always going to drive you towards those negative outcomes. So your what if has to be positive so that it pushes you towards whatever it is your goal is. The second thing is the $5 million question. And that question is, what is this really big, lofty goal that you have in life? So maybe your goal could be, I want to quit my day job and I want to build my business. And let's just say that that's what your goal is. You want to quit your day job and you want to be able to make $75,000 a year profit in your business so that you can quit your day job but still maintain your lifestyle. Right now you might feel like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm capable. And again, you have all these negative what ifs. So my $5 million question is, if I were to tell you, if I were to promise to you, if I were to guarantee you that if you were to quit your day job, let's just say by summer 2019, so give you a little over 6 months, if in 6 months you were able to quit your day job and make $75,000, in that year, I would give you $5 million. So guaranteed, I'm going to give you $5 million if you hit that goal in the next 6 months. Are you going to hit that goal? Most likely you are going to, because now you have this extra external motivation. You're going to get $5 million if you grow your business enough to quit your day job and replace your day job income. And that's going to make you an extra $5 million. Hell yes, you're going to do it. I know I would. And that question is important because what it allows us to recognize is with having this external thing, like this extra thing that is going to motivate us, all of a sudden our limiting beliefs about why we could never quit our job in the next 6 months completely diminishes. Instead of thinking about why we can't do something, our brain starts thinking, okay, how can I make this work because I want that $5 million? And it's just a shift in perspective, and it's a shift in how we're viewing and thinking about the situation. And so when you're thinking about, am I potentially limiting my potential? I want you to ask yourself, if someone were to give me $5 million, $100 million, $1 million, whatever amount of money that you think is important, if someone were to give that to you, if you're guaranteed to get that money after accomplishing your goal, would you accomplish your goal? Would you find a way to make it happen? And if the answer is yes, then that means that currently you're doing things that are limiting your potential because you've convinced yourself that that thing's not possible. But again, with this $5 million reward hanging over you, you're going to find a way to do it. And so that's a really great way too to just change your perspective on the situation so that, again, you can move more towards what it is you're trying to do. And the third thing, and most important, is just to recognize, again, using the example of quitting your day job and making $75,000 a year, you don't need to have all the answers or all the skills or all the money or all the resources right now. Your job isn't to snap your fingers and all of a sudden be able to quit your job and be making that amount of money. You have to do stuff. It's a process. It's a step-by-step. If you want to live, or you're building a building and you want to have the penthouse suite, you have to build all the other floors below it. Not only that, but you have to dig into the ground and build that strong foundation base so that you can have the penthouse. So it's about recognizing too that it's a process. It's okay if you don't know how to accomplish your goal right now. That's okay. That doesn't make your goal any less accomplishable or any less doable. It just means that you haven't figured it out yet. And part of figuring it out is just taking those steps one by one by one by one. And along the way on your journey, you start to get those answers, those skills, those resources that allow you to become the person that makes $75,000 a year and that is able to quit their day job. So again, those three things are like asking yourself, what if? Asking yourself that $5 million question, and just recognizing that you don't need to have all the answers and skills right now and that you can do it. So as always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you need anything, let me know. I'm here. Stop limiting your potential. You've got this.